Hi everybody, I'm Sarah Zoe. I'm new at the library, but today I'm going to help you make a panda craft. Specifically, a panda mask. It's great for your imagination and pretending to be a panda. Makes me hungry for bamboo right now. I'm alone in this room, so I'm going to take off my mask. When I am doing this panda craft, I like to be able to refer to a picture of a panda as I'm doing it. I like to see what the real panda looks like, even though my panda is for pretend, so it doesn't have to look exactly like this. It can look however I want it to look, and yours can look however you want it to look. For this craft, you're going to need a paper plate, some black construction paper, some black yarn. These three things are available at the library in a grab and go craft kit outside of the back room. You're also going to need some things that are not in the kit that I hope you have at home. You're going to need something that you can color black. It could be a black marker, it could be a black colored pencil, it could be a black crayon, or it could be black paint. I'm going to use black paint today, but what's nice about markers and crayons and colored pencils is that they're not as messy. So if somebody at your house doesn't like the mess of paint, these are really good to use. You're also going to need tape or glue. Either one. I'm probably going to use tape myself, but I'm not sure, so I've got my glue ready. A regular pencil and some scissors. And then the other thing you're going to want is something round. I'm going to use this cup. And this is what I'm going to trace to make ears out of the black construction paper. Since I'm going to be painting, I also have some newspaper to contain my mess. That's all you need. Okay, go get your stuff. Okay, do you have your stuff? I do too. I'm looking at my panda picture. His ears are pretty round. His face is mostly white, but around his eyes, he has these black splotches, black fur. And they're not really round shapes, are they? They're kind of long. And then he has a white space, and then his nose. Okay, I'll be picking this up and looking at it a lot as I'm working on my project. The first thing I'm going to do is ask a friend to help me figure out where I should put the eye holes. When I hold what is going to be my mask up to my face, I can see that my eye holes should be right here. And so I'm going to ask a friend, which also could be a grown-up, to help me mark where the eyes are. Or you can do it like I just did. Okay. Now I'm going to cut out holes around there so that I can make sure I can see. One way to do this is to open your scissors carefully and to use one part of the scissors to stab through. You have to be really slow and careful. You don't want to get your fingers on the other side, but this is one way to start a hole in the middle of the paper. Another way to do it is to kind of fold it so that the spot where you marked the hole is right there, and make your first cut like that. Then it's easier to get your scissors in. Don't make your eye hole too big, but don't make it too small either. If it's too small, you can't see safely. If it's too big, your mask will show a lot of your own face when you want to look like a panda. Okay, I'm gonna cut. I'll meet you back. I'm just finishing cutting this, and then I'm gonna test to see if my holes are pretty big. They're a little bigger than a quarter. Ooh, yeah, I can see, but I don't feel like people can see me. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is use my black paint, or crayon, or marker, or pencil, to make these areas around the eyes, like this. I'm getting out just a little paint. But if I were using crayons or marker, I would just draw right on it. See you back here in a second. I'm back. I'm letting my paint dry a little bit, but what do you think? How did I do? I think pretty good so far. The next thing I want to add is a nose and a mouth. This would be a great thing for marker, or crayon, or pencil too. Since I have my paint out and I have a little extra from painting the eyes, I'm going to use a little paint. All right, I'll be right back. Ooh, one key before I do that. Sometimes if I'm using paint, I'll draw with pencil first and then paint over it, if you want. Be right back. Hey, before I actually do this, what shape is that panda's nose? It's got 3 corners and it's all connected. Oh, it looks like a triangle. Like a triangle might be easier to see this way. I'm gonna make a triangle for the panda's nose. I think it's pretty good. I like how I left space here so the nose wasn't right up here. On our faces, our noses are right next to our eyes, but a panda has a little more room. Of course, he's got that muzzle that comes out. Next, I'm going to do the mouth, and I'm noticing the mouth is attached to the nose, like a dog's is too. Not like us, we have a space here. So I'm going to make that now. Okay. I have my mouth and my nose on, and I feel like I'm starting to look like a panda already. I went and I washed my brush right away so that it doesn't have any paint in it. Another thing you don't have to do if you're using markers or crayons or pencils. The next thing I'm going to do is make the panda's ears. The panda has ears that are pretty round, aren't they? That's what I'm going to use this round cup for, to trace circles. You don't have to do it like this. You could just cut out circles and you can make them any size you want. I'm going to use a regular pencil to trace on the paper because then I'll be able to see it just barely. Let's see, can you see me doing this? Maybe you can. So here we go. I'm tracing around. I'm using one hand to hold the cup in place. I'm using the other hand to go all the way around the circle. You see, I can't do it in one. I have to pick it up and come back around. I'm going to make 2 of these circles, one for each ear. You know what? I already changed my mind. I'm looking at the size of the circles, and I'm looking at the size of my panda mask, and I'm thinking, I'd like bigger ears. Even if it's not like the real panda, I think it'll be great to have nice big ears. So I'm using now the bigger side of the cup. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to make mistakes and to go back and try again. It's okay to adjust your plan in the middle. Okay, now it's cutting time. I'm not worried that I drew my bigger circles right over my little circles because I'll just put the side that has pencil on it toward the back, and then I won't be able to see it, and neither will be my friends when I play Panda with them. Okay, here I go. I'm going to cut them out. I'm going to pause it because I think it's boring to watch people cutting, but it's important to practice cutting. So please give it your best shot and do it yourself if you can. Okay, I cut out my 2 circles. I took my time. I didn't rush. And here they are. What I'm going to do is tape them onto my Panda mask a little bit on the back of the mask. You see, you could put it like that. That's totally fine. But I'm going to do it like this. And I like how that looks. So I'm going to use my tape. Let's try this again. I'm going to use 2 pieces on each side. One like that, and one like this. And then I'm going to put the other one here. I'm just checking that it's where I want it to be. Okay. I'm getting closer and closer to being done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some yarn to hold my mask on. And if you came to the library to get the plate and construction paper, there will also be some yarn. You could use any color yarn, any color paper, obviously, or any kind of string that you can find for this step. If you have a hole puncher, this is a cool place to practice using a hole puncher to make holes to put in the side. I forgot to get my hole puncher, so I'm going to pause the video and go find one. I did find my hole puncher. If you don't have a hole puncher, you can use the methods we talked about to make a hole in your mask by either opening up the scissors and poking or folding. The other thing you could do is just tape the string or yarn onto the mask itself. So I'm going to use my hole puncher since I found it, and this is great practice for your hands and hand strength. You can punch holes in a lot of things. Here I'm going to put my holes really under the ears because that way the string will be right in the right spot to go around my head. So here's one hole punch. It's not too close to the edge. It's a little bit in. Here's the other hole punch. Okay. The next thing is to take the string. I gave you guys string that is too long. You don't need it that long. But what you do need to do is cut it in half so that you have a way to tie it in the back of your head. Okay. Are you ready to practice knots? They are really tricky sometimes until you get it. And then once you get it, it's so good. So it's worth practicing hard things. I'm going to put this through one hole. And in order to make my knot, I'm going to lay it down so I can see. I'm going to put the tiny tail over the long tail. Put the tiny tail around the big one and through that loop. I'm going to make a double knot by doing the same thing. Tiny tail over the long tail, tiny tail under the long tail, and pull a nice double knot. I'm going to do my other side. Tiny tail over the long tail, tiny tail up through the loop. And I wanted a double knot, so do it again. Tiny tail over the long tail, down and up through the hole. Now, if you want, your mask can be finished. This can be it. When you look at me, a panda you will see. Or you can add some fun personalization. I think my panda wants to have a bow on her head, or your panda could be wearing glasses, or you could add a cool hair to your panda. That's so silly. You could add it like a green mohawk or something like that. You can add anything you want. You could add earrings to your panda. I'm going to show you how I add a bow, but anything you want to add, you're going to do the same way. All you need is some scrap paper, something to color with, and scissors, and your tape. I'll be right back. I just got some pieces of scrap paper to draw some accessories for my panda. I like using little pieces that are too small for other things. So I'm working on a bow, and I'm working on some glasses. I've had to draw these a couple times. I've made some mistakes, but since I'm using scrap paper, I'm not as worried. I also could draw them in pencil first, and if I made a mistake, erase it and then do it in marker or crayon, but I'm happy to do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna color them more. See you in a minute. Okay, I have my stuff cut out, and now I'm gonna attach it with tape. I'm gonna put my panda's glasses on first. Of course, you might not have glasses. That's okay. I wonder what you made. I really hope I get to see it. You may decide you don't want any accessories. Maybe you want your panda to look more like a panda in the wild who would not have glasses or anything like that. I'm going to use a couple really tiny pieces right here, just to make the glasses stay close to the panda's face. And then one more piece to put the panda's bow on. Maybe that would be better with glue? I'm not sure. I'm going to roll up the piece of tape and put it behind there. But you attach it, whatever makes sense to you. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's only one more thing that you need to do before you can play with your panda. Clean up and thank whoever helped you make your panda. I think it is fair to clean up while wearing your panda mask, though. You might have to ask somebody to help you put it on. But there it is. All right. I hope that you have fun making your panda mask and playing being a panda, singing about pandas, and I will see you soon. Bye from the Kingston Community Library.